the life-changing power of focusing on yourself. In a world that constantly demands your attention, it's easy to lose track of what truly matters. We've all been there, waiting for the perfect moment to act, hoping for external validation, and thinking that someone else will come along to give us the guidance we need. But what if I told you that the life you dream of is already in your hands? The harsh truth is, nobody is coming to save you. Not tomorrow, not next year, not when the timing feels perfect. This might be uncomfortable to hear, but it's also the most liberating truth you'll ever encounter. Your growth, your success, your future, all of it depends on you. The Stoic philosophers understood this principle well. They knew that your strength begins the moment you decide to take ownership of your own path, without waiting for others to believe in you. It's time to stop scattering your energy outward and start focusing it inward. You've heard the phrase, focus on what you can control. The Stoics took this to heart, and so should you. You are the architect of your future, and the first step toward achieving the life you want starts with one simple decision: to focus on yourself until you win. Part 2. The illusion of the perfect moment. How many times have you delayed taking action, waiting for the perfect moment? How often have you told yourself, I'll start tomorrow, or I'll wait until I have more resources, more support, or more time? The truth is, the perfect moment will never come. Marcus Aurelius, a Stoic emperor who kept a personal journal full of philosophical reflections, often reminded himself, you could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think. Time is not endless, and waiting is one of the quietest ways to waste it. Every day spent postponing what truly matters is a day lost forever. When we procrastinate, we allow our dreams to fade, not because they are impossible, but because we have let them be buried under the noise of excuses. Epictetus once said, "First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do." This is not about grand gestures or declarations. It's about small, steady acts of self-discipline. The problem is not that we don't know what we should do, but that we rarely act on it with the urgency life demands. Failure is not the enemy. Failure is evidence of effort. When we fear failure, we avoid the very thing that would help us grow stronger. The real danger lies not in falling short, but in never beginning at all. Part 3. The hidden enemy. Distraction. In today's world, distractions are everywhere. From the constant buzz of notifications to the endless stream of information on social media, it's all too easy to lose hours of your day scrolling, comparing, and consuming things that add little to no value to your life. Seneca warned, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it." Every distraction you indulge in is not harmless. It's theft. It steals your time, your focus, and your potential. But the good news is that once you recognize the power of focus, you can begin to reclaim your time and energy. Imagine what would happen if you gave back even half of the energy you've spent on distractions. What if you replaced comparison with action and distraction with discipline? What kind of person would you become? That's what focus does. It compounds. Just like money compounds into wealth when you invest it, your focus compounds into strength, knowledge, and character when you protect it. Part 4. Mastering your mind. Aristotle once said, "We are what we repeatedly do." Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit. Every small choice we make, every action we take, is either compounding for us or against us. If you want to build a life of success, it's not about sporadic bursts of effort. It's about cultivating consistent habits of excellence. The challenge is that the world doesn't reward silence and focus. Instead, it demands your attention at every turn, pulling you in 1,000 directions. Every ping, every notification, every whisper of someone else's opinion tries to invade your mind. But your mind is sacred. Plato said, "The first and greatest victory is to conquer yourself." Guarding your focus and choosing where your energy goes is the most powerful form of self-mastery. If you can't rule your own attention, someone else will. Part 5. Protecting your time, energy, and focus. When you choose to focus fully on building yourself, you free yourself from the endless cycle of living for others. You stop seeking approval and stop diluting your goals to fit into someone else's limited imagination. You stop explaining yourself to people who will never understand your vision. Socrates said, "The unexamined life is not worth living." He understood that if you don't step back and claim your own path, you will unknowingly spend your life on someone else's. The most important work you can do is the work of self-examination and self-discipline. Even when you have clarity and know where you're going, there will be days when you feel like quitting, when the work seems endless and the results invisible. Courage isn't about moving without fear. It's about moving with fear still clinging to you. It's about rising when comfort whispers for you to stop. Part 6. Persistence over inspiration. The truth is, comfort lies. It promises relief, but robs you of progress. Every time you choose comfort over growth, you move further from the life you claim to want. That's why persistence matters more than inspiration. Anyone can take the first step when excitement is fresh, but few can keep walking when the road is long and silent. Seneca once said, "If a man knows not to which port he sails, no wind is favorable." Without persistence, your vision remains fragile, but with it, even storms can't break you. The key is to remind yourself that the invisible seasons, the quiet times when growth seems hidden, are often the very seasons where character is forged. Think about a seed. It grows roots long before it breaks the surface. Your growth is no different. The process is gradual, and trust is required. Part 7. The role of patience in growth. 7. Trusting your process. One of the hardest things to accept in life is that progress doesn't always show itself immediately. We live in a world where we expect instant results, a fast-paced, gratification-driven society that encourages quick fixes and shortcuts. But growth happens gradually, and patience is essential to navigating that growth. Carl Jung once said, "The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are." This quote highlights the importance of trusting the process of becoming. The Stoics understood that personal growth and wisdom are built slowly over time, through daily disciplines, small decisions, and consistent effort. If you keep showing up, if you keep doing the work even when you don't see immediate results, you will become something remarkable. But patience is required. The path isn't always clear, and the rewards may be hidden. Yet, Those moments of apparent stillness are often where the most profound changes are occurring beneath the surface. The invisible growth. It's easy to become discouraged when we don't see visible results. You may feel like you're working tirelessly, but the progress seems imperceptible. But think of roots growing underground before the tree breaks the surface. Just because you don't see change doesn't mean it's not happening. When we face challenges and setbacks, resilience is built. It's like the strengthening of muscles. They get sore and tired before they grow stronger. So, if you're in a place where nothing seems to be moving forward, trust that the work you're doing is still valuable. Each step, no matter how small, is compounding into something bigger. 8. Building confidence through consistency. The more consistent you are in your efforts, the more confidence you build. Confidence is not a product of some natural talent or luck. It is cultivated through the steady application of effort and discipline. Every time you show up and do the work, you prove to yourself that you are capable. Aristotle taught, "We are what we repeatedly do." Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit. This principle is essential to building self-confidence. You don't become confident overnight, but rather by committing to consistent actions that align with your goals. Every time you complete a task, take a step toward your vision, or make a difficult decision, you reinforce your belief in your ability to handle challenges. Confidence, just like any other habit, grows stronger the more you nurture it. Part 8. How focus transforms your life. 9. The power of focused attention. In today's world, we are constantly being pulled in multiple directions. Distractions are everywhere, and they can feel like they're just part of the background noise of life. But the truth is, distractions are theft. Every minute spent on something that doesn't contribute to your goals or growth is time you will never get back. Seneca cautioned, "Life is long if you know how to use it." To make the most of your time, you must protect your focus. Distraction doesn't just waste time, it weakens you. It chips away at your energy, attention, and momentum. The more you allow distractions into your life, the more scattered you become, and the less progress you make. Imagine, for a moment, the power of a mind undistracted, a mind that is completely focused on the task at hand. When you eliminate distractions and choose where your energy goes, you can achieve incredible things. Focus is your most powerful tool. It allows you to cut through the noise and get to the heart of what truly matters. 10. Creating your own reality. One of the greatest aspects of focusing on yourself is that you take full responsibility for your reality. So much of our time is spent reacting to the world around us, responding to other people's demands, expectations, and opinions. But when you begin to focus inward, you take back control of your life. Socrates once said, "The unexamined life is not worth living." If you don't stop to examine your life, your choices, your goals, you will continue living according to other people's scripts. Focusing on yourself means stepping back from the chaos and asking, what do I want from my life? It means taking ownership of your decisions, your path, and your future. When you stop waiting for the world to validate your worth, you begin to live with unshakable confidence. You no longer seek approval from others because you've already approved of yourself. And once you stop seeking approval, You stop diluting your goals just to fit into someone else's vision of who you should be. 11. The danger of comparing yourself to others. We've all fallen into the trap of comparing ourselves to others. It's so easy to scroll through social media, see other people's achievements, and feel like we're falling short. But comparison is the silent killer of progress. It pulls your attention away from your own growth and makes you focus on what others are doing. Epictetus warned, "If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid." Stop comparing yourself to others. Their journey is different from yours, and their timeline is not your timeline. Your growth doesn't need to look like anyone else's. Your focus should always be on your own progress, no matter how slow or steady it seems. Remember, every small step you take is still a step forward. There is no need to rush, and there is no need to compete with others. Part 9. Reclaiming your time and energy. 12. Guarding your energy. Energy is a precious resource, and where you choose to direct it will determine the quality of your life. In a world full of distractions, it's easy to drain your energy on things that don't serve your purpose. But true strength comes from learning how to guard your energy. Plato observed that the first and greatest victory is to conquer yourself. In today's world, this means learning to say no. It means setting boundaries and protecting your time, attention, and emotional energy. When you focus on your own growth, you stop letting others steal your energy. You reclaim your power by making intentional decisions about where you invest your time. Guard your energy fiercely and watch how your life transforms. 13. The cost of distraction. Distraction doesn't seem harmful at first, but over time, it steals from your future. Every hour you spend on trivial things, comparing yourself to others, or chasing the next shiny object, is an hour you could have spent building something meaningful. Seneca warned us that it is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it. The more you indulge in distraction, the more you train your mind to avoid growth. It's easy to waste time on things that give you momentary pleasure, but the real reward comes when you invest your time in things that matter. The true cost of distraction is progress delayed. The time you waste scrolling or comparing yourself to others could be spent on building your skills, deepening your knowledge, or improving your relationships. 14. The power of focused effort. When you dedicate your time to the things that matter most, you will begin to see remarkable changes in your life. Whether it's working on your career, building new habits, or improving your health, the key to success is focus. Aristotle said, "Excellence is not an act, but a habit." The more you focus on building yourself, the more you turn your small efforts into big results. Success is built through repetition, through the steady accumulation of effort over time. It's about making small, deliberate choices every day to stay aligned with your values and goals. Part 10. Transforming challenges into opportunities. 15. Embracing setbacks as opportunities for growth. No path to success is free of obstacles. In fact, the journey is often filled with setbacks, challenges, and moments of doubt. But the Stoics understood that setbacks are not barriers to success. They are opportunities to grow. Marcus Aurelius famously wrote, The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. This means that every challenge we face is not an obstacle, but a chance to become stronger, wiser, and more resilient. The Stoics believed that obstacles are simply a test of our resolve, a chance to refine our character. When you encounter setbacks, don't view them as failures. Instead, see them as the very things that will teach you and refine your abilities. Each obstacle you overcome makes you more capable of handling the next challenge. The most successful people aren't the ones who never fail. They are the ones who persist despite failure. 16. The importance of persistence over perfection. In today's world, we're often taught that perfection is the goal. Whether it's in our careers, our relationships, or our personal projects, there's pressure to make everything flawless. But the Stoics teach us that persistence is far more valuable than perfection. Seneca said, "If a man knows not to which port he sails, no wind is favorable." What this means is that without persistence, without the willingness to keep moving forward regardless of setbacks, no effort will succeed. The Stoics understood that life doesn't reward perfection, but it does reward those who keep going, even when things are difficult. Success is not a single moment of brilliance. It is the sum of countless small steps taken over time. It's the quiet determination to keep pushing, keep growing, and keep moving forward, no matter how messy the journey might look. 17. The courage to keep going when you feel like quitting. There will be days when it feels like you're not making any progress. There will be moments when you question whether all the effort is worth it. But those are the moments that define your path. Stoicism teaches that true courage is not about moving forward without fear. It's about moving forward despite fear. Courage is not the absence of fear, but the willingness to act in spite of it. The Stoics recognized that every great achievement comes with its fair share of challenges, and that perseverance is what separates those who succeed from those who quit. So, when you feel like giving up, remind yourself that you're building something that requires your perseverance. Keep going, even when it feels hard. The progress you make in the difficult moments is what will carry you through the next stage of growth. 18. The role of self-reflection in growth. In a fast-paced world, it's easy to get swept up in the rush of doing, achieving, and competing. But the Stoics believed that self-reflection is one of the most powerful tools we have for personal growth. Socrates said, "The unexamined life is not worth living." The Stoics practiced daily self-reflection to ensure that they remained aligned with their values and goals. By taking time each day to reflect on our actions, thoughts, and feelings, we gain clarity and become more intentional about the way we live our lives. Self-reflection isn't about being critical of yourself. It's about understanding who you are, what you value, and where you want to go. The more we examine our lives, the more we can shape them in a direction that aligns with our deepest truths. Devignoliktas. Releasing the need for validation from others. One of the greatest obstacles to personal growth is the constant need for validation from others. We live in a world that thrives on external approval. Likes on social media, compliments from friends, praise from our colleagues. But Stoicism teaches us that true validation comes from within. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." When we depend on others for approval, we place our happiness in someone else's hands. The Stoics believed that the most important form of validation is the self-validation that comes from living in accordance with our own values and principles. By releasing the need for external validation, we free ourselves from the constant comparison and pressure to conform. We stop living for others' approval and start living for our own sense of peace, purpose, and fulfillment. 20. Building mental resilience and emotional strength. Life isn't always smooth sailing, and mental resilience is required to navigate the inevitable challenges that come our way. The Stoics understood that resilience is built through adversity, and it is our response to hardship that determines our strength. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Resilience is about developing the mental and emotional strength to face life's difficulties with grace and composure. When we cultivate this resilience, we become unshakable in the face of adversity. Resilience isn't something that happens overnight. It is built through consistent practice, by choosing to rise after every fall, to learn from every failure, and to continue moving forward even when the path is unclear. The more we build our resilience, the more confident we become in our ability to overcome any challenge. Part 11. The life you could build with focus and discipline. 21. The compound effect of focus. When you consistently choose to focus on what matters most, the results compound over time. Just like money grows in an investment account, your focus builds strength, wisdom, and success when you consistently direct it toward your goals. The key is small, deliberate actions taken each day, each hour. By eliminating distractions, practicing discipline, and staying aligned with your purpose, you begin to see the compounding effects of your efforts. Aristotle said, "Excellence is not an act, but a habit." And the same can be said about focus. Focus is not a one-time decision. It's a habit that grows stronger with every choice you make to prioritize your goals and guard your attention. 22. Creating the life you desire. Imagine a life where every day is an investment in your future, where every decision you make is aligned with your deepest desires and values. When you protect your focus, you begin to build that life, brick by brick. You stop wasting time on things that don't matter, and instead, you pour your energy into things that will help you grow. Your focus becomes your greatest asset, and over time, it transforms your reality. You no longer wait for the perfect moment, because you realize that the perfect moment is now. The life you desire begins today, with each small choice you make to focus on what truly matters. 23. Living with clarity and purpose. As you continue to focus on building yourself, you'll notice that your life becomes clearer and more purposeful. The noise of the world fades, and you begin to live with intention. Every decision you make is aligned with your vision, and you stop being distracted by things that don't serve your goals. Socrates believed that an unexamined life isn't worth living, and through focus and self-reflection, you create a life that is examined, intentional, and meaningful. By committing to yourself and your growth, you create the life that once seemed out of reach. The victory of focusing on yourself until you win. As you look back on this journey, remember that the true victory lies in who you become along the way. The goal isn't a distant achievement or external validation. The goal is to become someone who is unshakable, someone who can rely on themselves no matter the obstacles. By focusing on yourself, eliminating distractions, and practicing discipline, you transform your life from the inside out. You stop waiting for permission and start taking full responsibility for your path. Every challenge becomes an opportunity, and every failure becomes a lesson. The Stoics understood this well. The life you want is already in your hands, but it requires your commitment, your focus, and your persistence. Stay true to yourself and continue to build the life you dream of, one disciplined choice at a time. The moment to start is now. Don't wait any longer. Focus on yourself until you win.